thought you were going to go with Baby It's Cold Outside.
Happy holiday.
Baby, it's cold outside.
Da-da-da.
All right, so we got an important class today, important Dave and Dave show. Just the two of us, old school. This is how most of the things we do are like right here.
Yes.
Right? So, here's where we're at. We're at episode 27.
My age again.
Thing is this, it's the end of the year, right?
Beginning of a new year.
Exactly. Which everybody, do you know, fun quick fact. I found this out yesterday during working out. They do fun facts at Power Hour. Shout out to Power Hour. Do you know the number one time for breakups and relationships are the 2 weeks before Christmas?
Yeah, because you start doubting everything.
Not even doubting. I think you start taking a little inventory. It's stressful. You take an inventory of your life, right? Everyone's kind of looking for change at this point, right? Which is good.
Do I want to be with you on the holiday?
Yeah. Well, of course you do with me.
Yes. And of course you do with me because I cook.
Yeah. Which, by the way, are you going to have meat or just all pasta making me feel like crap?
There's 3 pounds of meatball sausage.
I'll eat the meatball and the sausage.
And there's going to be chicken cutlets.
Oh, done. Chicken cutlets for you non-East Coast people are basically chicken battered down really thin with my dad's famous concoction that he probably couldn't even write down of like breadcrumbs, and it's so thin. He pounds them very scientifically with upside down coffee cup. I have tried to repeat this process and broke the coffee cup on the chicken cutlets.
Yes.
I personally don't even need sauce on them to make chicken parmesan. I like them just plain with like mayonnaise a day old. I'm terrible. Anyway, so here we are. We're on the cusp of 2019. I've been thinking about this.
And I'm going to give you a little good point. The market has upticked a little this last 10 days.
Okay, I agree with that.
So for those of you who are saying, well, the hell with it, I'm not working, we're getting a few extra escrows because it was very quiet the first half of the month, and now it's getting a little busier.
Gotcha. I agree.
So work.
Yeah.
Between holiday.
So the theme is this. You do the same actions, you get the same results, right? And
in anything in life.
Anything in life.
You eat fat food,
you get fat.
You eat good, you get skinny.
You don't take care of your relationship, you get divorced, right?
Uh-oh.
You don't take care of, and usually it's people make change when it's almost too late or when it becomes very difficult. When you get that call that you got diabetes, or when you're getting divorce papers written up, or when you're 2 months late on your mortgage. That's usually when these things come to a head.
There's a new year, so it's a good time to make change.
So we're giving you a little bit of what we do with our agents that ask for it. We call it our business and marketing plan. But it's a little different this year. We keep saying that change is coming with doubt and uncertainty, right? How will you react? Now for clients or consumers out there, this means something very different than it means for agents. The end is not near when it comes to the market. Angie and I were listening to something the other day, and we both agree with this. I think you agree with this. Even if we hit a recession, do you know how they actually, which I don't believe we're hitting a recession, but do you know what they actually call a recession? I think it's only 2 months going in the other direction. Like in 2001, after 9/11, it only lasted for what, 2-3 months?
Yes.
And then
that was a depression recession.
The one we went in 2012. So when people are freaking out, even if it does come, first of all, I don't think it's going to come to like 2021. And even then, I think it's a slight dip plateau and then right back up. That's just...
Well, a recession is a big word. And up and down in the market.
Yeah, but you have to be prepared as... Here, listen, we've both been interviewed by the media numerous times. If there's a couple of dips in the month, what is the first thing they're going to write? They're going to write recession. So we want you to be more educated than anybody else so that you could be intelligent and know what's going on. That being said, he's right. The market for buyers and sellers is at worst flat, at best upticking. Would you agree with that?
Yep.
Okay. Now for realtors though, and for realtors watching, and how the consumer chooses a realtor, that is going to be changing in the next. It's already changing. Do you not agree with that?
I do agree with that.
So what we discussed last week was in 2018, the average house on the market, just an average house, was 18 days, right? And it was on the market for 18 days, and it sold 99% of what it was listed for, which means not a lot of work.
Those were the days, my friend.
So there's going to be a lot of competition coming for realtors that's already here, and it's going to be more and more in 2019. What we talked about, though, is if you do the same things, right, not only you may not, you're going to be hoping you get the same results because you may get less results, right?
Agreed.
Do you agree that a lot of a lot of agents in the market have, for the last 3 to 4 years, their business has gone up because there was more transactions available and the prices of houses went up? That they didn't necessarily do more, they just rode the wave up.
And there was a wave.
It was a wave, right?
Mm-hmm.
The question is now it's going to go to, if not for the market, but for the difficulty for an agent, the wave is going to go down.
Multiple reasons. We
Go for
hired
it.
like 3,000 realtors.
Not us, God forbid.
Not us. I say the
industry. Yeah. Just in city.
Right, and that makes the competition greater, which means you have to be more professional.
And skilled.
And skilled.
And skilled. So we're going to talk about a couple of those things. So when people come to us for a business and marketing plan, usually we start out with, where are you at? Right? What are you doing? Right? And the first thing we ask you to do, and this is 101, business marketing 101, business planning. But how few people actually do this is unbelievable. Even, I'm not gonna put my wife on blast, but even Angie, I force her to do this, and it's not fun, but it's easy. Let's say you do 12 transactions, right? We wanna know where they came from, your average sale, how many deals, right? But the number one thing that's most important is you write them all down, is where they came from, right?
And then money in your pocket, and what money do you want in your pocket to survive? Because when
You
you
have to
say
average out the
when you
deals.
say winter's coming, one of the things is you have to business plan financially too.
True.
So
True, but it's super simple though. But the number one thing is
well, we're 100%, so it is super simple.
that's for us. But you have to look at it from 3 ways. So let's just go back to that.
Mhm.
So one, where did your business come from? You need to know where you're getting your business. We believe, and I believe we'll always believe this, is that your business should be coming from the people that know, like, and trust you, right? Now that encompasses a big sphere, right? Sphere of influence. It's your friends, your family, your past clients, your friends of your clients, referrals.
School of your children.
It's everyone
church,
you know.
Everybody.
Here's the thing. If you're not at 80% of your business coming from your sphere of influence, you need to make some changes immediately, because now you're doing way too much work to get your business. You're probably paying way too much money to get business in from online leads and whatnot. Would you agree with that?
Yes.
The fundamentals are still there. So something that we do, just a total plug for our company, we do invest in our agents. We pay for them to go through it was a 12-week program. Now it's going to be an 8-week program that actually teaches you and refines your skill, because we're going to be talking about skill a lot today, on how to work your database. And you could work with people you know, like, and trust, right? It's so much nicer. I mean, think about this in your life. If you today had to go find someone to do cabinets for your house, how would you go about that? Would you go to Yelp? Would you go to Facebook? What would you do? Would you start asking your friends?
You know, in today's society, the easiest thing we all do is we go to Facebook.
Yep.
And we say, I need a painter, I need a wood guy. And you look at your people that you trust and the recommendations they do. That's the number one.
I completely agree. Before you go to Yelp, because what'll happen is someone will give you a name, then you'll go to Yelp, and then you'll go to, but you get the name first. And it comes with who you trust. So like if Joe Schmo gives me a referral and I don't respect Joe Schmo, I may be about the referral. But if you give me the referral and you're like, Dave, this guy's on point, he does great work, he's not super expensive. Or you may say, listen, he's great, but he's a little bit higher, you know what I mean? Like,
Depending on the quality of what you're looking for.
exactly. And that's how people find realtors overwhelmingly. I know that the numbers are skewed. They may go look on Redfin or Zillow or Realtor.com to look at the house, but they're finding their realtor through their sphere of influence. And the beauty of that is it's such a more quality relationship. My painter, for instance, I'll give him a shout out. Julian Lovis, Deco Plus, is amazing. So when people are like, I need a painter, he also does cabinets, right?
He did my cabinets,
Did
helped me
mine.
sell the house.
Fantastic. When they reach out on Facebook, someone's like, I need a painter. I put his number, his name, or I'll actually just tag him, and I'll say, listen, it's not the two guys sitting outside a Home Depot where you don't know if you give them money, right? When Julian did my house, I wrote him a check day one for half of it. Before he even stepped foot, that's how much I trust him and know his work. That's the way, that's how you want people referring you. It's a better situation. You love, and you actually love working with the people rather than, hey, I think, rather than Julian just going through a phone book or getting online leads and calling a name and a number and being like, hey, are you looking to paint your house? I'm doing it. Very, very different situation. So start with where you're getting your business. For you high-end team leaders, this is very important, even more so than an agent doing like 10 or 15 transactions. The ones that are doing like 60, 70, sometimes you get stuck in more is better and you're not realizing where your business is coming from. We did a deep dive into one of our big team's business, and what we found out was their online leads that they were paying for, by the time they gave them out, right, took a 50% referral, the money that they were putting in, the time that they were putting in, it was almost like they were working for their team member, right? It was ridiculous. And like 86% of their business was coming from referrals and sphere of influence. So you must measure it and you must know your numbers inside. I don't know about you. If you said to me, I can make $100 working 50%, or $120 working 110%, you see what I'm saying? Like, more isn't necessarily better. You have to see your ROI, your return on investment, on everything you're doing. You agree with that?
Totally agree.
Okay, so we look at where your business comes from. Now, I don't want to dominate this, but because we haven't done one together in a while. But
well,
when you find it, do you think you should, let's say you're doing 80% referral and 10% online leads. Do you think you should increase your online lead spend and try to get to 20% online leads, or do you think you should double down on what's working?
I would double down on what's working. And, I love sphere of influence, and for the new agents out there, there's farming, there's open houses, there's ways around it. But for the agent that's been out there, I would almost go 100% on my sphere of influence.
Yeah,
Online leads. They used to be great. Now they cost so much money.
Yeah.
That unless you're spending megabucks, you're not getting them. And then when you are spending the megabucks, the return isn't as great as you think it truly is.
I agree with that. I mean, just depends. Like, I would be investing in social media marketing.
Oh, always.
Right?
I'm not talking about
targeting
social media
ads and things like that.
Great.
So that kind of is somewhere blended in the middle. But even social media, it's an indirect hit.
And it's an inexpensive hit.
But it's supporting that sphere of influence that you're already putting out there,
exactly.
Right? So I would be all in on like a Buffini, Jared James, Ninja Coaching. These are all very, very similar. All in on that. But even if I was going to do expireds and withdrawals, I wouldn't do it like just hitting the phones. I would go above and beyond and make it a personal connection. You know what I mean? Like send a gift to the person's house and be like, I know you're going through a tough time right now. You just which are your house. I know there's probably 100 realtors calling you. This is a tip. This is a gimme, a freebie I'm giving you guys. Here's a gift to help you get through it. If and when you're ready to jump back on, here's what I'm about. This is how I'm showing you my point of difference. Like, what I'm saying is, if you're gonna go down that route, do something more personalized and different.
Rather than that cold call.
Oh my God, I withdrew my listing for 2 weeks because of I've gotten more texts.
Oh, have you? Tell us about it.
Oh my God, so there must be a text thing. This is so-and-so, and realtors, you're doing these texts with not even putting what company you're with, nothing. It's just a random, I could sell your house. They're guaranteeing that they could sell my house in a certain time. So my response is, hi, I'm Dave, the owner of Urban Nest Realty. Thank you for, and I get no response back. So, unbelievable.
But the violation there is you must identify your
I'm not turning in. But still, that's not what you want to project to the marketplace. And you're hurting all of us too, because you're making the whole industry look bad. So what else? So I would do this. If I'm going to invest in online leads, here's your tips if you're going to go down that road. Short-term contracts.
with the vendor,
What do you mean?
with the online lead.
Online vendor, yes. Easy way to get out. You got to give it 3 to 4 months, because if you don't, you'll never know if it's going to work. And try to go in the other direction of everybody's going. The minute everyone's saying, I'm using this, it's over. Because it's basically they're just coming up with new mousetraps. And the mousetrap only works for so long. And then one person says this is a great source, and then 20 people jump on, and then it's game over. And then they're just selling you the same garbage over and over again. But I would have a very little piece. But even then, you're right, because I may be directing energy to that, where I should be directing energy to having lunches and having personal meetings.
That's what I'm saying. That's where the return is.
You're right.
You invest is your sphere of influence and creating a new influence. And
So
online leads does not create that unless you get a buyer and then they become multiple buyers, but a lot of them don't.
it's tough to pencil it out. So, okay, so you got to look at where your business is coming from and double down on what works. Now, a little side note. Same actions equal same results. So basically change. What people don't realize though, it's usually just a small shift, right? Even losing weight, it's a small shift. You don't have to change the way you eat 100%. You just have to change it, 20%, and huge difference. You don't have to work out every day, but you have to go for walks. You have to do new things. You know what I mean? It's weird looking at it like that, isn't it?
Yes.
So little shifts make huge differences, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So then what we do is we take all your sales and we get up with an average commission, right? And we come up with how much you made versus how much you want to make. One of my mentors calls that the gap, right? Between where you are and where you want to be. And then you have to figure out how you're going to jump that bridge, right? And the way we believe in that is investing in your training, education, and skills, okay?
And work hard.
And well, if you do all that, you're working hard.
Yes.
So we do some things differently here, right? When you say
We do much more one-on-one.
One-on-one, we have a lot of the videos you guys don't see. It's in our internal group. Georgia teaches once a week, twice a week. She does two
Twice.
videos. Jennifer's doing one a week. He's doing one a week. I'm always on here. This is a lot of this. Now, this is one of the classes or shows that we do. It's just direct to you. But usually there's 20, 25 people in a room, and there's interaction, and you're refining your skills. Because not that great of skills. I mean, I get calls all the time what's going on the other side of the transaction, and it's pretty scary. I mean, what about, we just heard from a realtor that their broker was telling them to leave the house off the market, to try to double end it, change the commission. I mean, some crazy training is going out there that's going to get you in trouble.
I wouldn't call it crazy training. I'd call it greedy training.
It is greedy.
It's greedy and unethical training.
You got to do the right thing. All right, so back to what we're doing. So if you're a realtor and you're making $6,000 a transaction and you want to make $120,000, you know you have to do 20 transactions, right? You know that at least maybe 3 or 4 are going to go to the wayside, so you got to at least get 24 of the people that you know, like, and trust. 24 people that you want to help change their life, you want to invest in, take care of. So you know that you have to be doing 2 deals a month. That is your goal. It's super simple, right? You got to be out here in front of video. You need to be telling people, like, listen, our goal this year is to help these many people get in a house, sell their house, get in another house. Who do you know that I can help? Pretty simple, right? I mean, this isn't rocket science. They make you want to change. Here's a little new thing, which for you may be something that you resist. I think we all resist. I put undo all of what you think you know.
Why is that?
I think people get so stuck in their habits.
Maybe undo all the marketing that you know, not...
Wouldn't it be great to look at, we're talking about business now, right? To look at your business and how you do it, how you get results from a completely new set of eyes, a fresh perspective, right? Rather than getting caught in the dogma of, this is the way I've always done it, this is how I feel comfortable, and these are the results I see.
Well, when I owned the restaurant in your youth, it was very successful. And every year we would have a guy come in and spend 3 days in the restaurant and look at everything we're doing.
Like a strategic planner auditor?
Look at everything we're doing right and wrong. And
I never knew about this.
I know, because you were a youth.
I was young.
And we would change what we were doing wrong. Even though we were mega successful, we still wanted that person to come in and tell us to be even more successful. So following that line of what you're saying, I don't know if I'd undo all I'm doing. I think I would always, as the broker of a large company, we always hear new situations and new marketing, and we go, wow, that's great, that's exciting.
It's easy for us to make those turns because we're not a super national franchise.
Exactly. So we're open to that. And that's a healthy thing. And I think what you're saying is we should always be open for new avenues to get produce better results.
You bring up an amazing point I hadn't even thought of, but I know the concept. There is this counterintuitive thought that the best time to make change is when things aren't going well. And usually that's the worst time because you're already too late. The best time to innovate and take a hard look at what you're doing is when you're successful. Right? Like tweak while you're winning.
You bet. Which
again, you would think, this is going great.
Why do I need a tweak?
Exactly. And that's kind of, I think you got the point of where I was coming from. You know, if you're seeing huge success on online leads, your first reaction would be double down on online leads. But you can't control online leads. They control you. They will change, the pricing will change, the quality will change, the frequency will change. Guess what you can control? How much you work and how much
your database.
Your database, that you can control. Me, we're both control freaks. That is what I want to double down on. So what I'm saying by undo what you learn, don't get caught in bad patterns. You know, your business should be so winterized and winterproof that you could turn off all the spigots of online leads and still be mega successful by just investing and being in front of and taking care of the people. And you know what? Your clients know this too. Because, I mean, it's the old stat. Remember the stat? 88% of people who buy houses and sell houses said that they would use their realtor again.
If they could find them.
88%. That's almost 9 out of 10 people said they would use them again.
Yep.
How many use them again? You remember the number?
It was low.
11%.
Because they couldn't find them.
Because they're so busy on the next transaction and they're chasing commissions, right? The greed, that they're not taking care of their people.
I totally agree.
They're stepping over $1 to pick up a dime. right? And now they have to rebuild trust, which trust is the number one thing in all sales. They have to rebuild rapport with completely different people. That's like trying to find a new wife every year. Good luck, you know what I mean?
It's a lot of alimony.
Whereas all you got to do is invest in people you already built trust with, you already enjoy, they love you for the business you did, but it doesn't seem like you're getting new business. That's the problem, right? That was your trick.
Go ahead.
No, you tell them how amazing you were at that. I mean, here's the thing. I know he doesn't want to brag about himself.
I won't.
All my dad's clients, even now, let's even say this. We walk what we talk. Like, we walk the walk. We do very little to no advertising at Urban Nest, and we have 426 agents. One of the largest companies. We don't pay to recruit. We don't have systems to recruit, right? We do what? We take care of our people first. Our people get nothing for recommending an agent to come over. Zero. So if they're ever saying good things about us, it's because it's coming from their own heart. That's number one. But when we come out with a new thing, it's never, oh, this is what we're going to do for the people that we don't have yet. It's, no, this is what we're going to do for the people we have. Right?
Exactly.
It's
we take care of our own, and then the next thing, agent-wise, for recruiting an agent or an agent working, we give back.
Yes.
We give back to our associations, state and local, and in the United States, we give back, which is NAR.
The United States.
It is the United States.
Yeah, I know.
We're
Just the
all
way
over
you
the
said it
country.
was.
USA. No, I'm only kidding. And we give back to charity. Do you know how many agents? We have an agent here. I'll give a shout out to Christina Chipman. She is volunteering. Her office is full of gifts. She is out giving back. She works really hard.
Yeah.
I admire her so much because 3 kids, volunteering, working in it, that's what creates success.
So, before I took these aside, what he did as a realtor was unbelievable. Very little marketing, more branding here and there. That was even towards the end of it.
Mm-hmm.
Every single person he worked with became a friend. It was insane. And then, if you needed to know where the post office was, what the best doctor was, where the best Italian restaurant was, something broke in my house, he picked up the phone all the time. You know what my father's CRM was? The backs of envelopes from junk mail. It was a crazy system, but he managed to do it. He had a TC, 60 transactions a year, at big money, like $15,000 a transaction, Redrock. He was going against, and this shows it, I'm not going to say the guy's name, because it's a different company, different guy back then, but his marketing was what, like $50,000 a month. He was, or not, it was insane what this guy was spending. Spending millions of dollars a year on marketing Redrock. My father's marketing was probably what, like 15 grand, if that.
A year?
Yeah, right? He probably spent less in half a month, right? Or the guy spent less than half a month than you spent an entire year. He did get all the business, the most, and you were right there second. So if you looked at the end of the year on who actually made more money and didn't have to go through all the rigmarole, it was you. Right? And that is the way. Clients would give him 30 referrals sometimes in a year. Yep. It was insane. Mm-hmm. It was insane.
I still get the calls.
You still do. And now Angie just takes care of them. Mm-hmm. We've had clients. You want to talk about taking care of people? We've had clients that started with him, went to me, and now Angie takes care of them because they wanted to stay in the Tina family. And why? Because they trusted us.
Because we were honest.
We did the right thing. And I hate saying it to you, like bragging about it. But the thing that makes us smile the most, more than any success we see, even more than, like, we love seeing our agents go up and see their vertical. But I don't know about you, but the thing that makes me smile the most is, and we hear it all the time, is I've talked to 10 people. I've talked to title people, other agents that are happy at their own company because they don't want to change. And then they said, all of them saying, listen, it sounds like what you're looking for is with Dave and Urban Nest. They will take care of you. They're a quality, great company. And that, to me, even after 7 years of openness, makes me feel great.
And that's what the agents should hope their buyers and sellers are saying about them.
Yes. Well, I believe that I have this thing. It's called inspiration is a two-way street. Right?
Mm-hmm.
You with me on this?
Mm-hmm.
Everyone's looking to be inspired by something or someone, right? But what they don't realize is if you inspire them, you're more likely to be inspired back, right? It's like that law of attraction. And I think that's what happens with our agents. I think we attract mirrors of ourselves and they attract mirrors of themselves. And then we become a mirror for our agents and they become a mirror for us. Mm-hmm. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And then we start just basically looking in the mirror. Because if it doesn't fit here, you know pretty quickly, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you're all about just the dollar and banging out deals and not taking care of your clients and cutting corners and not doing the right thing, you pretty much weed yourself out here pretty quickly. Would you say that?
Yeah. Yeah, and if not, we'll weed you out.
Pretty much. That's pretty much. Okay. What are you going to do differently this coming year? That's the question for you guys, right? So, I will tell you this. Where you are at matters in your company, okay? Now, you don't necessarily have to be at a great company to be successful. I know some amazing agents that have operations that are on point and they just hang their license at a spot and they'll succeed whether they're at a great company or not. Would you agree with that?
Yes, but it's easier if you're at a great company to get things done.
I agree. I know there's other great companies out there.
Yeah, I'm
There's
not talking about us.
There's some
about any great company.
fantastic companies. Here's the thing though, and I want to know if you agree with this. Focus less on the name of the company on the office and more on the leadership inside of the office. Do you agree with that?
Yes.
So I have this theory. Remember we talk about this, the chef in the restaurant? Right? Is the restaurant more important or the chef?
I think that you could have a great restaurant, but with a terrible chef, it's going to fail.
It's going to ruin the restaurant. Wouldn't you agree with that?
Yes.
So I believe you have to make sure you're with the right chef.
So now we can wear chef's hat?
Like South Park.
I would like that. Yeah, I would like that. Cover my head. Yesterday I wore glitter because of your gift.
Yeah, we got gifts for Christmas. So that's number one. You got to make sure you got to invest in yourself. So by investing in yourself, you're either finding a company that's going to invest in you. Fair.
Mm-hmm.
You got to be consistently seeking out seminars and events and things that are going to make you grow as a skilled professional. That has to happen. And you have to be willing to do the fundamentals and the work. You agree with that?
And how much you could do all that, and if you don't have the ethics and do the right thing in this business, you will not get repeat business, and you will not, in the long term, succeed.
Well, I know of agents who do like 90 transactions a year and get no repeat business whatsoever. So they have this machine.
Bad sign.
They have this machine and they're constantly putting money into it. They have team members that are bulking up their sales. It makes them look like they're doing a ton of business and they're paying for leads everywhere. And it's always the next lead, the next lead, the next lead. And what they're doing is they're running on a hamster wheel because they put together this machine of next deal, money in, next deal, money in, next deal, money in. And they can't control what their next year is going to look like, right?
Yes.
So, going in from year to year, you felt pretty confident on what your next year was going to look like. Did you
Always
not?
did.
You always did, right?
I did my farm, I did my open houses, and I took care of my referrals every single year.
So, regardless of the market, you knew that your people were going to call you.
Yeah.
You knew your people were going to refer you. They were out there doing work for you gladly, happily, not even feeling like it's work because think about it. In New York, we used to say, hey, you got a guy? Remember that? In Rhode Island too, right there?
Yeah.
You got a guy, and you love that because you listen. I got the best contractor, the best realtor, and you hand them off, right? People love being sources. They love being the informational source. Like think about with restaurants. You love being. Have you been to Chef Mark's? Right? Where is it? Oh, it's that spot right behind.
And I told you about Chef Mark.
You did. And I'm usually on point with the restaurants.
Mm-hmm.
So this is simple. So him and I do it with each other. He calls me. He's like, "Have you been to Chef Mark's?" And I'm like, "Oh, you mean the Mark's over there? I hate that one." He's like, "No, not that." He's like, "Chef Mark's." I'm like, "All right, tell me where." He's like, Durango and Sahara behind the Charlie's Bar. It's amazing. So I go there skeptical, especially with him, but because he's a little bit of a picky-ooey when it comes to food. Sit down, amazing Italian food, and it makes you feel like you're in another state because it's almost hidden, right? And the chef comes to your table, it goes over the specials, the food is on point. That's actually our pick to go on my birthday. It was unbelievable, right? So people want to do that for you. That's the kind of business you want. And how much more fun? I call it this circle, right? If you do it right, you're taking care of people you know, like, and trust, right? Mm-hmm. You're doing the business skilled, right? You're closing a lot of business. Then you're giving back in some way to the community. I think the contribution part is huge, right?
Always have to. All my realtor events I gave always had a charity lock to it.
Exactly.
Cancer or whatever.
So now, picture this. So now you're investing in your people. So you're putting together appreciation parties, right? Your appreciation parties become all your friends, mm-hmm. because they're your clients too. So now you're basically just hanging out with mm-hmm. people that you love. It's like you're throwing parties, right? And during the parties, what are you doing? You're raising money for things that you care about. And now you have this circle that your business is connected to your purpose because you're helping people. You're enjoying it and loving it because it's people that already know you and you know them. They're referring you. You're doing strong quality business because you know how to take care of people. And you're more invested in the purpose in the consumer than the commission or the profit, right? So now you're in this awesome circle where it doesn't even feel like working anymore. Because when you say, hey, you call up two of your friends and you're like, I want to go to lunch with you, or I want to invest in your cause, basically you're investing in them and you're investing in yourself. That is where the business all comes together. So what do you think, Pop? Are you all in?
Everything you say, I feel I do with the agents. I got a call last night at 9 o'clock. I'd just gone to dinner and I got a call from an agent asking me what it's going to take to put the deal together. And we went over all the parameters. And she texts me, thanks for your help. We just put the deal together. That's what we do for agents.
And agents should do for their clients.
That's the trick.
You got it.
Not I answer my phone from 9 to 10 and 5 to 6. Well, if the emergency comes at 7.
I think there's good parameters to put it in, right? So mm-hmm. I always say, my father is a unicorn with this. Because he has no, I don't want to say have no life, but you live for this. You are a hero complex. I go like this.
No life. I'm gonna.
Well, it's easy to take calls when you're, no, I'm just kidding.
No, I was home watching a movie in the middle of, but I learned how to stop it.
But for instance, I got. 2019, I learned how to press pause. That's excellent.
I knew that would excite everybody.
This is how I did it. So I'll give you an example. Angie, she put together an event for all of our friends, clients, family, everything, I believe on Saturday or Sunday. I can't remember the day. She rented out a movie theater at Redrock and did a screening of The Grinch, right?
I wasn't there.
You're not. You're invited. It was with kids, right?
I like The Grinch.
So we rented out the whole theater.
Did you have popcorn?
No, she got boxes of Panera.
Oh.
For every single person there.
Wow. Now
and
I really want
on the way out, you got a. She's gonna kill me for giving away all our ideas. A coloring book with the crayons and everything in there, right?
Her face on the cover.
No, there was no cards. You don't have to put your
I'm
face all over
oh,
everything
geez.
when you know everybody, right?
Mhm.
So we got to hang out with our people, and it wasn't an appreciation.
Boy,
event.
I want to buy a house from her.
Wait, it gets better. So during the movie, I get a Facebook message from one of the agents that was coming over here, right? Now, obviously, I'm watching the movie. I got the girls. And then you probably would have left the movie and answered the call. I waited till the movie was over and the event was over, maybe like 45 minutes later. I called her, took care of her, sent her over to Danny, who took care of her, right? So that's how it goes. Now, here's the best part. There were a lot of extra food. We had like maybe 40 extra, or about 25 to 30 extra boxes.
Where was mine?
So we went down to the rescue mission
Good, I knew you were going.
and gave the people there that worked there were like, you don't realize this is gonna feed like a ton of people. So in one day, because I was like, I don't care if we paid for extra seats, like if people's lives, whatever. The food being wasted drove me insane.
Unfortunately, from
You, like, and I wasn't eating it all, right? Because Panera I just call like basically the bread cafe, right? But then we were gonna just go search for homeless people, and that would have took forever. So we just called down there and made sure. So we drove all the way down there. The girls were with us, so they got to experience, hey, everything doesn't look like Summerlin. There are streets with only letters and dead presidents on them. They needed a little awakening too. And it just felt so good. So the day was complete, right? So just like you said, took care of an agent on a Saturday, got them settled. Took care of the people we love, got to catch up, because you don't get to catch up with everyone you love. You don't see them enough. Introduce some of our friends to our other friends. We've had 2 groups of friends become great friends that we never thought would become great friends.